only. If it not single service, again you are having multiple services, but this time you are maintaining n number of servers. Okay, then it is what we call as microservice. But for microservices, we are going to implement containers, not servers, right? So here we are having a number of servers as well as a number of database as well, right? So for each service, we are going to maintain a separate container and separate database in order to track each service. Like if you embed all the service in application, but by default, if any one of the application, like any one of the service failed an application, we need to shut down whole application, right? So to avoid these kind of things, we are going to implement microservices. To implement microservice, we need containers. Containers can be created by your trainer. Containers can be created by Docker. Okay. So Docker or Docker, you are going to have your images, and from images, you are going to have containers, right? Okay. So container is a virtual machine. It does not have any OS, and virtualization is the process of creating your like what you can say your virtual machines. The process of virtualization is to create virtual machines with the help of physical computer resources. Hypervisor is one of the type of virtualization we have. Containerization, this is very, very important. Process of packing of application along with your dependency. And Docker. To make containers, we need a tool, right? The tool is going to be a Docker. Okay, cool. So this thing you already know. We have discussed, right? But I have changed the what we call this one. Images I have changed it to new one. Okay. So Docker, it is an open source centralized platform designed to create, deploy, and run applications. So it is written on which language? Go language. Okay. Docker natively runs on which OS, guys? Host operating system, and natively runs on what? Linux. Okay, Linux OS. We can use Docker on Windows and Mac OS as well, but it natively runs on Linux only, right? Next, Docker perform OS level of virtualization known as containerization. So OS level of virtualization is what you call as your containerization. So before Docker, like users face a lot of problem because a code is running on developer machine, but it is not running on user system because user does not know dependency, right? How we can know? Imagine, for example, I have created application called WhatsApp. Village people, the people who doesn't have any educational background, they can use also WhatsApp. They can simply send the images as well as like they can do phone calls, right? How can they know? I need some dependency to use this application. They cannot know, right? So for that purpose, those kind of people, we have developed an application called Docker in order to mix the dependencies as well. Okay, so that means application will come up with the dependency as well. So it was released on 2013 March. So developed by two people. One is your Solomon Hikes and second one is your Sebastian Fall. And Docker is a platform as a service, guys. Simply you can say Docker is a platform as a service. Yeah, Docker is a platform as a service like that use OS level virtualization. Remember, Docker and VMware are like both same, but the level of virtualization is Docker will do OS level virtualization. Okay, OS level virtualization, but VMware use hardware level of virtualization because VMware will use the physical resource of our computer and create VMs. But on the Docker, we are not going to use our physical resource, right? We can give it directly on the image level and volume level. Next, container will have OS files. Like if it is my Linux system, I am having like FHS, Linux directory system, right? Bin, boot, all this. Again, the same files will be on container as well. But if we compare the size to OS and container, the files which is presenting on container is very, very, very negligible. Clear? Okay. So architecture, how many components we have mainly in architecture? 3 components. What are those? So Docker client, it is the way that user interact. Docker client interact with Docker daemon actually. It will interact with Docker daemon. Docker daemon is presenting on Docker host. Okay. And again, Docker daemon interact with registry. So from registry, it will take all the images and Docker daemon will maintain containers, images, networking, all these ports and mapping will maintain by the Docker. If you have an
daemon
image,
only.
you can build container. You can go to the container and you can install some packages and you can create some files. If you convert this container to image, so all the packages you have installed there and all the files you have created there will be on your image again. Okay, this is the process that we are going to see now. But before going to that, let's recall a few of the commands. What is the command to install Docker, guys? Version to check. Docker -hyphen version, or you can remove Docker -hyphen you can remove and give Docker version as well. By default, Docker will give client only, right? If I want to make active Docker engine, what is the command do I need to give? systemctl.docker, or you can give the service Docker start. Both will be working. Okay. Next, if you want to see the status of Docker, systemctl or service. If you want to see Docker information, Docker info. Next, pull, you know, right? What is the difference between pull and run? Pull is nothing but downloading your image only, but running is container. If you give Docker pull Ubuntu, it will pull the image from Docker registry to local. But if you give Docker run Ubuntu, so that means by using Ubuntu image, I am running a container. So pull is to only get the image, run is to run the container. Okay. Next, if you want to name your container, what is the command you need to give? -hyphen name and name of the container. And if you want to give interactive terminal, -it you can give. And you want to make it the terminal as detached mode, -itd. Okay. Command to list Docker images. Docker images only directly. Command to list Docker containers. Docker containers. Yes. Docker PS. If you give PS, it will only get the running containers. -a will get all the containers. Okay. If you want to stop a container, what is the command? Docker stop container run. If you want to attach the container, if you want to go inside, Docker attach container name. Okay. So these are the things we have covered, and these are the few other comments we need to cover. Okay. I will make it today. So, but today what our agenda is I am going to install the Docker and I am going to create a container with help of Ubuntu. And I am going to install a few of the packages there, and I am going to convert that container to image. You are going to convert container to image. Okay. So let's see. First of all, I am going to do install the Docker once I log into the console. What is SDLC, guys? Shortcut I have said to you. PCB directory storm. If you want to tell DevOps, PCB Docker is Tom. If you give director, it is your SDLC. If you give Docker, it is your DevOps lifecycle. That's it. On a class లో చెప్పినవి I think మీరు రాలేదనుకుంటా. I think so, right? So I'm going to connect to this container. So I'm opening putty, guys. Manual ga Yeah. Okay, guys. So I'm going to install Docker now. What is the command to install Docker? Yum install Docker. Yum install Docker -y. So if I install the Docker, am I able to see my Docker engine running? No. What we need to do it? We need to start the Docker service, right? At any cost. I'm getting a ping. Why we use putty rather than Amazon instance? See, I think who asked this question? Manikanta, you can use your instance by using browser, or you can use your putty as well. If you want to use it on like Mac OS also, you can use by using PEM file. If you want to use MobXTM, you can use anywhere I want, okay? But for my compatibility, like the people who are from offline here, like they can't see the browser properly. So I have taken putty and I have increased the font size, okay? So the next command we need to do is systemctl start. Like let's give service command now, okay? Service docker start. You started? Okay, and after that give service docker status. So both work like same, right? Systemctl and service commands are both same, okay? But the syntax is different. If you give systemctl, you need to give start first and docker next. But service command, docker first and start next. If you give docker version, I am able to see my docker engine running or not. Okay. So first of all, I want to like I will take this one from your end. You tell me the comments. I will tell you the concept. Okay. I want to take Ubuntu image and I want to create a container of it, and I want to enter into the container. Okay. And I want to install some packages. What is the command do I need to give first? Docker search. Yeah, search is not like a main thing. You can directly take the image by using Docker pull Ubuntu. So first step is done. What is your second step? Container running, right? How can you run a container? Docker run hyphen it hyphen name, container name and Ubuntu. Second step is done. Third one, like you can directly enter into the container. And fourth one is your installing packages, right? IP I'm getting like installing packages. If I want to install Git or Maven or Jenkins package, what is the command we need to give? Install. Let's do this. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to take the Docker pull Ubuntu. So I will get the Ubuntu image. First step is done. I have taken the Ubuntu image. Second step is your creating of your container. So tell me the command to create a container. Docker run -it -fn name and container name I'm using cont1. Okay. And which image I need to give? Ubuntu and /bin/bash is option. Hitting enter. So now I am on my container. So that means your second point is done. Like third point is also done. First one is getting image. Second one is creating container. Third one is entering to the container. So now you want to install a package called Git, for example. What is the command you are going to do? Install git-y, right? See. Install git-y. Right? Perfect. Sudo ivala. Sorry. Exit. Then what's the point of installing Git? I want to install on my container, right? We are on container only. Huh? Exactly. Actually, we are working on Ubuntu container, right? So I have said to you, if you want to work on Ubuntu, you need to give apt command. Okay. Not this yum command. Yum command is only for Red Hat, CentOS, Fedora only. But if you want to work with the Ubuntu system, you need to give apt. Git form of apt is, does it work now? Advanced? Absolutely no. Sudo icham kada. We have given sudo, right? So do you want me to remove sudo? Okay. apt-get. Okay. I am giving this apt-get as well. Removing this one. I have said one more thing on Ansible as well regarding this Ubuntu image. What is showing to me? We have given right. When you are working on Ubuntu, right? First you need to update. You need to do. So give apt update -y. If you don't do this, you are going to install nothing here. So give apt update -y. The first thing you need to do while you are working on Ubuntu is we need to update the package. Okay. But the thing is, on interview, they are going to ask you a question. What is the command to update? What you are going to do? But that is wrong. Okay. So if you want to update really on Ubuntu, you need to give upgrade, apt upgrade. Okay. Update will give the list of the things to get update only. Okay. Apt update means it will provide the list of updated packages you want to update. But app upgrade is going to upgrade all of them. So see now, it is going to upgrade. Okay. Is it final? Like everything is up to date now. So we don't have anything to update. So update and upgrade both are different. Update will give the list of packages to update only. But if you want to really update, you need to give upgrade. First thing. And someone will ask you what is the difference between apt and apt-get. I have said this one also. Apt and apt-get. If you give the apt command, you are going to see the progress. Okay. You are going to see something called as your progress. But if you give apt-get, you are not going to get this progress bar. I will show you. Okay. For example, if I want to install a package called git here. So give apt install git -y. If you give apt, you are going to see the progress bar on the down. Let's see. Are you seeing the progress? Are you seeing it? So this is your progress bar if you give apt. But if you give the command call, I'm installing tree now by using apt-get. Okay. Apt-get. It is not going to show me the progress bar now. See. Is it showing progress bar for me? So have you got the difference? If you give app, you are going to get the progress bar. If you give apt-get, directly it will execute. You won't get the progress bar. That's the thing. So now we want to install Python. So the command to install Python is apt install Python 3-y. So again, you will get your progress bar. Is progress bar getting down? So if you want to install Java, apt install Java 1.8. Okay. Default JRE. I am using default JRE, guys. What is the meaning of JRE? Java runtime environment. Okay. So again, I have given apt, right? So that's the reason I'm getting progress bar. If you give apt-get, you won't get the progress bar. So I have installed Git here, Java here, Python here, and 3 packages. So second time I want to create a container with the same packages. Okay, now first of all, I have created this container one. Let me exit out of this, and I am creating few files. Touch file 1, file 2, file 3. I am creating 3 files on my home directory. So I am exiting from this container by using Control D. So if you see how many containers you are having now, only one container. But my requirement is I want to create the same container with the same package installation. Okay. I want to create the same container with same packages installation of it. How we can do? Normal process again creating container 2 and again installing all the packages. But that is your manual way of doing your work. On real time, we are not going to do the manual work anymore. So how to do it automation is we are going to commit this container. If you commit the container, then it will create an image automatically. If you commit the container, what it is going to do? Create the image. So first of all, let's check Docker. Right. So what I'm going to do is use the command docker commit. Okay. Your container ID. That means you are going to commit this container. Okay. To which image? I am going to give the image as Raham1. What is my image now? So Raham1 image will be created automatically now. Is it created now? If you give Docker images now, you are going to see two images. First one is your Ubuntu, second one is your Raham one. So what are the packages and files that consisting of this container is now on which image? Raham one. If I try to create a container by using this image, so that means what are the things on this container is going to present on this image, right? So let's try this and verify. Okay, so what I am going to do is I am going to create a new container called cynt2. Tell me the command. Docker run -it -name container2 and image you need to use is Raham1. Okay, hit enter. If you observe, if you give tree -version, tree is there automatically. Git -version, git is there. You Python 3, Python is there. 3.1.10.6. And if you give like ls, you are going to see 3 files. Are we seeing these 3 files? So where we got all these things? From the image, right? So this is the way how real time works actually. What they will do is they will take the base container, they will start working on it. Once everything is done, they are going to create an image. By this image, they are going to put it on Docker Hub. From Docker Hub, anyone can access this image. Clear for everyone? So this is your first concept of today. So sizes. Yeah, that is only your base image. Okay. Ubuntu is just your base image. But on the top of the base image, you are going to create some files and you are going to create some of the like what you call packages as well, right? So all this will be mentioned there as well. If you see now, I'm exiting Control D. Okay. If you give like this, Docker images. If you observe the Ubuntu image and Raham image, there will be a lot of variation. See, size is 77 MB, but where all this comes from? Where all this comes from? The packages that you have installed, the files that you are going to create, everything will be on here only. Is it clear? Okay. The first now we have seen is, first concept is like, I have an image, I have created container out of the image, right? And second thing we have seen is, I have a container. By using container, I have created image. So both ways it is going to work, right? So it is directly proportional. With the help of container, you can create image, and with the help of image, you can create container as well. Okay. So this one is your first concept. And the second concept for today is like I'm going to explain the automation of same concept. Actually, you are like you think it is like automation, right? But it is not fully automated. It is only half automated. Because if you want to install or if you want to do any kind of things, you need to go for container, right? But I don't want to go to my container and I don't want to all to do these things on container. I want to do it on my local first. Okay. So what we have done is we have taken image, and from image we have taken container. On the top of the container, I have installed the packages and created the files, right? But I don't want to enter to my container and I don't want to create all of this. How can we do? So there is a concept called Docker file. What it is? With the help of the Docker file concept, you can automate everything, guys. Okay. What are the things that we have done up to now? I can do automate everything by using a concept called Docker file. So let's understand what is the Docker file. So this is your interview question that you are going to face, and real-time work also, everything is based on Docker file as well. Okay. So let's understand this concept more. So let me go to this one. So see, Docker file. It is basically a text file which contains some set of instruction. So it's normally a text file, like we are having a lot of text files, right? So Docker file is also one among the text file we are having. Okay. So it is the automation way of Docker creation. So if you want to create a Docker image or if you want to create a Docker container, you can create by using it on automation way. Okay. Next, on the Docker file, the first letter D is always going to be your capital letter. Okay. And inside the Docker file, you are going to work with some components. Those components will be on capital letter as well. So one more time I'm explaining for you guys. Docker file is a basically text file. Okay, Docker file is basically a text file. It is the automation of Docker image creation. So we can create the Docker image automation. Okay, and the first letter on Docker file is capital D, and every component that we are going to work on Docker is capital. Okay, so let's understand actually how it works. So first of all, I'm going to create a Docker file, right? Okay, on this Docker file, I have said that I need base image Ubuntu, and I need 3 files inside my Docker container, and I need Git and Java to be installed on my Docker container. So I am going to write all these comments on Docker file. If I build the Docker file, okay, if I build the Docker file, I will get an image actually. If you build a Docker file, what you are going to get? Docker image. With the help of image, I can create containers, right? That's it. Previously, what we have done is, first of all, we have, let me write down this. First, I have taken image, right? Step number 1. What is step number 2? I have entered into the container. Step number 3, I have installed packages, right? Step number 4, installing packages. I am getting it as IP. Step number 4 is again creating of images, right? If you see here, there are 4 steps involved. How many steps? But here you can perform it on single Docker file. Okay, you can write what are the things you want on the single Docker file, and if you build it, you will get image. With the help of image, you can create container, right? That's it. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to create a Docker file. But before going to that, we need to understand few of the Docker file components. Okay, we are going to understand Docker file components. So let's go with this slide. Actually, this slide doesn't consist of Docker components. Okay, but anyways, I will explain another way. Docker. Are you able to see this, guys? Docker file components. Okay. So Docker file components are nothing but, see, you are having mainly like 10 to 12 components, mainly like you are having total 20 components on Docker file, but all those are not necessary for us. Let's understand what are the important components. To build a container, I need some base image, right? So I definitely need some base image. Without base image, I can't do anything. So the base image is my Ubuntu, and that come from. If you use the component called from, then it is going to create the base image for the container. Okay. You might use Nginx, you might use Red Hat, or you can use whatever you want. Okay. The top will always be from tag only. See, for base image, this command must be top of the file. So remember one thing, you need to put this on the top of the file always. First thing. Second thing is run. So run is, if you want to run some Linux commands to perform your operations on the container level, you are going to use a component called run. So from is to get the base image, and run is to run the Linux commands. Okay. And next, copy. If you are having some local files, if you want to copy it to container, then what you are going to run? Copy. So remember one thing, only local files are going to be copied. Okay. But sir, if I have some files on internet, I have some tar files. Okay. I have some Jenkins repositories. If I want to copy those files to my container, the command is add. You are seeing, right? So copy is to copy files from local system only. Okay. So we need to provide source file as well as destination as well. And the add, if you are having some files on internet, okay, or you are having some extraction file, like this tar file or gunzip file. If you have some extraction files also, you are going to, first of all, we have seen run and pull. Run and pull is, which pulling is to get only image, running is to give the container. So the difference between copy and add is, copy will do copy of local files only, but add will get the files from internet as well. That's it. And expose, if you want to, for example, Jenkins is running on port 8080, right? If you want to connect Jenkins by using this Docker file, you need to expose that port. If you want to connect some external port, so the attribute we are going to use is component expose. And work directory. For example, when you open the container, if you want to directly go to a particular directory, that is your TMP. So that means you are going to give work directory. Okay, it is called a work directory. So you can give as work dir. If you give work dir /tmp, that means when you create the container and you are into the container, so the default folder will be tmp only. If you use opt, the default folder will be opt, like that. So command, entry point, both are same. Command is used to execute the command only. But the thing is, it will execute this during container creation. Okay. And entry point is also working like same like container, but it is having some high priority than CMD. Okay. Now, command will execute a command. Entry point also will execute command. But if we compare, entry point will have high preference over the command. Okay. Next, the thing is we are having environment variables. For example, if you are working for a Swiggy client, okay, Swiggy client, and that is your developer application. So if you give $client, then it is going to print the client name. If you give $environment, then it is going to print the developing environment, like that. So environment variable we have seen on Jenkins as well. If you remember, right? We have used the same concept there as well. And arg means it will define the variable. Okay, that is used to build up Docker image. So once of all, I'm going to explain all of this. So from is to get the base image. Run is to run the command. After that, copy is to copy local file from Docker container. And add is to get the files from internet to Docker container. Expose is to expose the ports. And work dir, it is used to go to the default directory you want on the container. And after that, we have given command. CMD and entry point will both work like same, but highest preference will be CMD, entry point. Okay. And env, so that means you can define the variables whichever you want to define. And lastly, arguments. Arguments is used to define the variable to build the Docker images. Okay. Here I have written also difference between copy and add, because this question will be your entry point of view question, damn sure. Okay. So here what I am going to do is I am going to create a basic file. Okay. I am going to create a basic file. So how the file will be is, for example, like I want a Docker file to be created. On the Docker file, I am going to include two things only. First of all, I want to create a Docker file by using base image, and I want to give two commands. One is creation of file, one is creation of your directory. So let's see. I'm going to VM Docker file. Okay. Give I here, insert mode. So for base image, what you are going to write? From. So the base image will be Ubuntu. Only the component will be caps, and this will be on yellow color. But all your commands will be small and like normal letters only. If you want to create a file, what is the command? In the file command మర్చిపోయారా? మరి ఏంటి అందరు సైలెంట్ గా అయిపోయారు? Guys, wake up. It is just a file creation. Okay. What is the command to create a file? Touch. If I want to run this command, which component do I need to give? Run command. So give run and give touch file1. It is done. So if you want to create a directory, what is the command? So what is the component you need to give? Run mkdir director1 అని పెట్టేసుకోండి. Give dir1. Escape shift : W. So this is enough. So that means if I want to build a container by this image, I am going to get the base image as Ubuntu, and default I am going to have file1 and directory1. So exit from here. If you build the Docker file, then only you are going to get the image. But previously you have get the image by committing the container. But this time you are going to build. So they will ask, what is the difference between commit and build in Docker? Commit is used to commit the container and to get the image. And build is used to, it will build the Docker file and creating of image. Both are same purpose. Committing is to create an image. Building is to create an image. If you use container to commit, if you use container to build image, that is your commit. If you use your Docker file to get the image, that is your build. Clear? Difference between commit and build. So the command you are going to do is Docker build -t. Which image you want to give? I want to give it as raham2. Okay. Dot means you are building on this current directory. So docker build I am giving -t means tag. So the name I am going to give is raham2 for my image, and dot is your current directory. If you hit enter, so we have given totally how many number of steps? 3. First step is done successfully. Second step is creation of file. It is done. Third step is your directory. And if you see here, successfully built. So the image is successfully built and tagged it as raham2 because I have given -t raham2 here. Is it clear? If you build a Docker, if you run a Docker container by using this image, what you are going to have? OS as Ubuntu image, and you are going to have some file1 and directory1. So let's observe this one. So to create a container, what is the command? Docker run -it -name container 3. Okay. And image you want to give it as raham2. You need to give. We hit enter. Just to give cat/etc OS release. What is the image we have got? Step number 1 is done. Step number 2 is file. Step number 3 is, if you give here, file1 is there and directory1 is also there. So that means, is the Docker file fully worked or not? Worked. For example, I want to insert some content on file1. You want to insert on content file1. How we can do it? So there is a process to do it. So give again, edit this one and update the same thing. So there is a command, you run. Okay. I'm giving run here. So that means I'm going to print echo. Okay, I'm going to print echo here. Hi Raham. Good morning. I'm telling this and I'm going to go greater than. So that means appending, right? I am going to append this on file1. First of all, it is going to print the content and content is going to append on escape shift:\aq. Again, we need to build the image. But this time it is not going to build the step number 1, step number 2, step number 3 because all these are built actually. So it is going to execute only last step only. So I am giving the same image name because I am updating the image, right? If you want to give the new, you can give, but I don't want to give the new image. I am updating my existing image. In real time also, they will update existing image only. You hit enter. See, all these steps have been performed, but only step number 4 is performed. So just go to your container, Docker. What I need to give? I want to go to container. What do I need to give? Docker attach. Docker start, right? First of all, you need to start, and after that we can attach. So Docker start container 2 or 3. I think 3, right? And after that, I need to give. I'm on container 3. So just give cat file1 now. What is saying to me? Is it showing me anything? And the number of characters are 0. If you observe something, we have given file1, right? We have given file1, but this file1 is on. File1 is on PWD. We have given source, right? But just instead of 1, just give 2 now. Okay, this is your new file. Instead of 1, this file1 is already created actually. Just give file2 on your home directory. Just observe this one, like why it is happened. Again, I need to build this one, Docker build -t-raham. After that, I need to start and I need to attach the container. Cat file2. You see LL. Are you able to see file2 now? Anywhere? What might be the reason why you are not able to see the content like file2? We didn't edit the file2. Okay. Let's go back to this VAM Docker file. We have given it, right? File 2 we have given directly. So actually I have given right everything there, but why it haven't worked for me? Just listen. Q factorial. If we give history command, just think logically. Okay, this will be very fun actually. I have edited the Docker file here, right? I have built the Docker file, but do I need to create a new container or do I need to check the old container? Old container. Okay. Docker file will update the things. Okay. But if you want to see these changes, you need to create a new container. Okay. Actually, this is the existing container. Let me create a new container by using this command. So I am giving this one. So just I am like changing instead of Docker like container 3 to container 4. Okay. So just give LL here. You are able to see two files now, file 1 and file 2, right? Give cat file 2. Is the content there? That's it. Have you got the point what I have actually said? We have updated the image, right? We have updated the image, but the container we are seeing an old container. Once you update the Docker file, so that means you are going to reflect the changes to the new container. Is it clear? And you can ask me, sir, how the real time works. Real time will work. First, they will test on the different containers. Once everything is up to the mark and they are expecting on their way, it is directly moving to the production environment. That's the thing how real time works. Okay, you got my point? What exactly done? So they will combine all the piece of code into the single Docker file and they will write the whole code for the Docker file. So everything will be there directly. Is it clear? So, and one more thing I am going to do it is like no, it's not like that, but for initial part of your understanding, it will be like this only. I will tell like how these things are work only. You will have some of these Docker compose as well. Okay, need not to create new container every time. Okay, just for your basic part as well as for your introduction part, I have said like this, but after that you will go into combine this both, how it will work actually. Is it clear? But I will explain those on Docker compose and all this Docker stack will come into the action for you. At that time I will explain. Okay, so now I am going to give some more things. Okay, the thing I want to do it is now I want to add a Docker file, VM Docker file. I want to copy the file. So I am giving the attribute as copy. I am copying the abc.txt file. Okay, /tmp folder. Which folder I am copying? /tmp folder. So what I need to do is I need to save this file first. Then after I need to do build Docker build -t and image name is Raham2. I'm updating the same image actually. What it is showing to me? Just if you observe the last line, you will able to get the output. There is only one error that we have done. Just observe the last one. File does not exist. So copy means we need to provide the source and destination. We have given abc.txt and Docker file, but do we have abc.txt on our local? We don't write. So as I said before, if you want to use copy attribute, the local files are going to be copied. But do I have any local file here? So create a local file here, cat greater than abc.txt, same name. So it is copied to my container. Okay. So the thing I am going to do is now Docker run -it -name count for as well as image name Raham2. Container 4 is there already. Container 5 give. If you give LL here, you are going to have no abc.txt file. On which folder? Go for cd/tmp and give ls your abc.txt is there. So cat abc.txt, the same content you are going to see here as well, right? So this is the way of doing it. For example, if you want to give environment variables, how we can do it? So go to Docker file now, vim Docker file, and local file we have copied, right? But I want to copy the files from internet. How we can do it is you add. Okay, I am going to copy this Jenkins repo. You know Jenkins repo, right? Go to here, download. So just copy this whole line, okay, and paste it on the Docker file. So now you are copying the files from internet, and you can also give like this. You add. I am going to give this Maven also. So I am going to type dlcdn apache.maven.org. So I am going to search for the Maven here. Maven, yeah. And Maven, it is the recent version I am going to give. Binaries, I am having this star file, right? Copy link address and give it here. So that means you are also get this file as well, right? It is also from internet again. Okay. And this time I am also giving this environment variable. What I am going to give? So give env. Env I am giving. And here give name. Okay, or else you can give client. Env, oh sorry, env client, and the client name I'm going to give it as swiggy.org. Escape shift colon double Q. So I need to build this image, right? So docker build -t image name. Add at least like, okay. See, the thing is I have mistakenly give someone here, like I have given this source, right? I have given this source, but I need to give destination here as well. If you observe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So let's see what exactly is going to happen now. So I am going to make this on my TMP directory. Okay, I am going to make this on TMP directory. And one more thing I am going to add here is, once I enter into the container, I need to be defaultly on my TMP directory only. Okay, I need to be defaultly on my TMP directory only. So the command is like workdir. Okay, so you need to be give TMP here /TMP. So that means you are going to be enter default to which directory? TMP folder directory. So I am going to explain. Add command to get resource from internet. env component to get the environment variables. Okay, and work directory to go to the default directory you want on your container. Escape shift colon double Q. Okay, so first of all I need to build this one docker build. If you see here, what is showing to me? The file, it is not found. See, add sudo wget -o etc mrepos or repo.org https packages this repo. Adding is failed. Okay, because if you observe something here, actually we need to give source and destination, but on this particular one, the source and destination is not proper way. Okay, actually you need to get it on /mrepos.d. Okay, so what I am going to do is I am going to remove this one and just add etc here if it is possible. Okay, remove all of this from here. It will come now. So I am removing the destination where this file needs to be actually. Okay, just remove the destination here and you can, oh, wait a second. You need to be on this destination. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this destination actually. Okay, so remove all of this. And give this need to be present here, like just give /etc here or /tmp here. Escape shift colon double Q. Build the docker image now. Is it built now? Actually, the command why it is failed is docker syntax is different and that repository syntax is different. So just we have changed the syntax only. I have removed the destination first and I have made the destination on last. So that means all will be on my TMP directory. So I am going to create a new container. So actually I have created container file last time. So I'm going to name it as container 6. Okay. So on which directory I am now defaulting? Previously, if you see, are we on this default TMP? No. But why we are on TMP now? We have given work directory as TMP. If you give LL, you are going to see 3 things. First is your abc.txt, like default one. Second one is your tar file. Third one is your repository. Are you able to see all of this? We have given, like, we have taken the tar file and we have taken the repository as well. By using which command? Add command. And last thing we have said is our environment variable. So give echo dollar client. What is your client name? Swiggy.org. So give dollar here. Has it printed? Is it clear? So this is the way of doing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more feature for it. Actually, this container doesn't consist of Python and any other packages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to VM Docker file and I'm going to add it. So Shift G. Here I'm going to run apt install Python 3-y. I just want to install only this Python only. If I give this one and if I try to build, what will happen now? What will happen now? Yeah, someone said right answer. Error vasthundi. Because why the reason is just now we have given installation of Python, but have we updated the packages? No. So just put this one. Oh, sorry. So here give run apt update -y first. So previously it is failed, right? Now it is not going to fail. Just check it out. Previously it is failed, but see now it is not going to fail now. Wait a second. Read TCP peer maven add failed get maven apache. Okay, like comment this one or remove this one because it doesn't going to affect me anymore. I don't want this particular file for now. So remove this one. So first of all, it is going to update the packages. So after that, Python is installing or not for me. So just go to the inside of the container and type Python 3. You will be able to see whether Python is installed or not. So lastly, if you see the build is successful. So that means it is only going to successful. Okay. So give the command docker run -it container 7. Give name. And I need to give Raham 2. So we are on TMP now. The thing I have installed is Python. So type Python just and hit enter. Oh, sorry, Python 3. I'm in Python now. So if you want to enter into the Python terminal, you need to type Python 3. Okay. This is the way how we work with your Docker file components. Is it clear? So do we continue for one more topic for today or is it enough for today? I don't think so because you are getting like some confusion, right, on this Docker file components. Okay. Yeah.